it's time for us to get to work. And then I'm gonna give you 2 to 3 activities to do for each milestone or you sleep. Good. You up early. Let Kids Play podcast. Hey, it's Nayetta here with another episode for you. I got a different setup. So, I'm Nayetta, the mom playologist, and we're live from the couch. My couch specifically in my living room, live from my living room, live from the couch. So this is a new series that we're going into. It still goes into how to homeschool your little ones, but I've been talking about Play-Doh, play. I feel like I've been repetitive. So it's time for us to get to work. And instead of just like, you're the first teacher, this, that, and third, let me show y'all, because I feel like a lot of moms either don't know, are confused, or I don't even think it's confusion. I really think it's just don't know. So as the mom playologist and an advocate for play, I'm just here to let you know how it works. So this episode is going to be all about tailoring play to your little one's developmental stages, and we're talking like what to do by 3, what to do by 2, 1, all of that stuff. I won't go into the baby stage because it's a ton of information on the babies. I'm specifically going to be talking about the toddlers, preschoolers stages, and today we're talking about the toddler stage. Because that toddler stage is different. And we're going to address what to do by the age of 3, because most of my audience is in that window to where their little one is 2, about to be 3, or they're already 3, 3.5, or whatever months you want to go by. Don't go by months. But if that's your thing, then you know how many months your little one is. So the 4 categories, according to the CDC, and the milestones that your doctors track, pediatricians track, are the social emotional development, language communication, cognitive milestones, and movement and physical development. So I'm going to try to remember to put this down in the bottom for you all. You can find it on the CDC website, but I'll just put it in the bottom for you all to check it out. So this I got off the CDC website, and it's pretty much what most children do by the age of 7. They said most because every child is different. And I'm going to go through this and let you all know how. So first I'm going to read the milestone, and then I'm going to give you 2 to 3 activities to do for each milestone, or an example of what it is, so you can see how simple it is to help your little ones exceed milestones. We're exceeding milestones over here. So with play, play is their love language. So to me, it's easy to exceed the milestone for most little ones. But let's go. So social and emotional milestones. So the first one is calms down within 10 minutes after you leave her, like at a child care drop-off. Me personally, it depends. So is that a realistic goal or expectation? Kind of. So is it their first time going to daycare, being away from you for a long period of time? They're probably not going to calm down within 10 minutes. But if you're in the routine, you've got over that slump, I say it takes about 4 weeks for the crying to stop when they've separated from you for a long period of time. Whether it is child care, leaving them with grandparents, or just being separated from you, because social separation anxiety is real. So what I do, because even if I'm traveling or going somewhere without my kids, period, like even if I'm just going to the store, sometimes there's separation anxiety. But some tips for that, as far as like the calming down, making them social emotionally aware. The biggest thing is you want to make sure your little ones feel safe. So when you're dropping them off, so one, you want to tell them where you're going. So I know people are like, I don't want to tell them where I'm going, what I'm doing, because this, that, and the third, they're going to ask so many questions. You're going to put that fear into them. So in my personal opinion, I would tell them, and we're gonna talk through that, whatever they're feeling and things like that. So hey, you're going to school, or you're going to, well, because we're, most of my audience is stay at home moms like myself. So we're going to grandma's house. Um, and I'm going to be gone for a couple of hours. So naturally, first question, well, why? Where are you going? So I'll tell them, mommy's going to her cozy corner. That's what I tell. That's what I tell my baby. Mommy's going to her cozy corner where they'll give me a massage. We're dreaming, right? I'm going to my cozy corner where they'll give me a massage. They're gonna paint my nails, paint my toes. Well, mommy, I want to go with you. I want somebody to paint my nails and toes. Well, this time it's just for mommy. And when you're talking to them, you're down at their level. You're not looking down on them. You're down with them at eye level. You may, depending on your child, you may be holding their hands or rubbing their shoulders. It's gonna be okay. You're reassuring them that it's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be worried. It's okay. It's okay. This time is just for mommy, and how I make eye contact with you. That's how you're making eye contact with your little one. It's okay. This time it's just for mommy, but you're safe. You're going to grandma's house, and I try not to bribe the kids, because that kind of gets in the way of developing that social emotional skills. So just get down. You're okay. You're gonna be safe with grandma, granny, grand. You're gonna have you can tell whatever they have. So you're going to watch a movie um with her. Spend some quality time with granny, grand, while mommy spends some quality time with herself. But it's okay. You're safe. I will be back to get you. I will be back here to get you within a couple of hours. And sometimes, because of Alexa in my house, my kids will set an alarm. So if I'm gonna be gone for like an hour or two, and if they really, really have that social anxiety, it hasn't happened in a while, but in the beginning, if I'm gonna be gone for 2 hours, I'll tell them set an alarm for 4 hours. And mommy would definitely be back by then. Listen, fingers crossed, because thank you, Lord, that nothing has happened to where I did not make it back to these kids. Um, but set an alarm for 4 hours. So I walk in the door, and they're saying, mommy, you made it back before the alarm. I told you I was coming back, baby. I'm back. Mommy, um, Mommy's back from her cozy corner. I see that you were brave. So that's just one way to kind of get into that calm down within 10 minutes after you leave situation. So the second one is notices other children and joins them to play. So that comes with also letting them know that it's safe. Um, I don't teach my kids that they have to play with everybody. It's whatever they feel comfortable with. So if they notice other kids and they want to play with them, then that's cool. But how to get them into it? Just bring them around. Don't force other children on them. Just put them in the environment for them to at least warm up to it. So like going to the library for story, your local library for story time, or Lego club, or things like that, or going to the park often when you know that it's busy, or even finding a Facebook homeschool group or toddler group to meet up for park dates. So we've been doing like the park dates with our local homeschool community. And sometimes my kids want to play, sometimes they don't. I don't force it. I just sit back, observe, make sure they feel comfortable, feel safe, make sure they can see me. I give them a little room for them to explore and socialize if they feel the need. Sometimes they end up playing sometimes with other kids and talking to them, sometimes they don't. But the key thing about this was notice others and then play. So they join them and play doesn't mean they have to necessarily communicate with them verbally, because sometimes kids can play together and not talk, and that's okay too, because they're still playing, they're still communicated in their way. Communication looks different. Art is a form of communication. So if they're sitting there and they're throwing the mulch or digging their hands in the dirt together, that's their way of vibing and communicating. It's like saying, it's high, you're mentally exhausted, and you just sitting on the couch with your best friend and your husband. Y'all just sitting there. So kids have that vibe too. So that's the social and emotional milestones the CDC has listed for by 3. All right, so the next one, let me take a sip of my tea. This getting good, by the way. So language and communication milestones. So they have 5 listed. So the first one is talks with you in conversation using at least 2 back and forth exchanges. So that's communication, what I talk about all the time. So a simple way to do it, y'all know, Play-Doh. I put my Play-Doh down, and I'm just sitting next to them. I get my little one Play-Doh. I have my Play-Doh. We're just rolling. So that's how I started off. So what are you gonna make? And then they tell you what they're gonna make. Oh, I'm gonna do a birthday cake for my dog. Oh, that's cool. Okay, because sometimes I'm throwing off birthday cake. Well, how old is she turning? And then they get to thinking 21 or 5, whatever they say. But you see where I'm going? That's that communication. So that's one way. You're playing with them, engaging with them. You're intentional about meeting their milestones because you're having that conversation with them. So another way is when I say good morning to my little ones. Good morning. Sometimes I ask, so I call it our morning questions. How did you sleep? And it's routine. So he'll say good. So I ask a different question after that. Did you have a dream last night? Like really confused, like I'm really confused. Did you have a dream last night? And sometimes he'll say, yeah, he'll go into this elaborate story. Sometimes he'll say, no, but did you have a dream, mommy? So that's communication back and forth. It didn't start with him asking me, did I have a dream? Did I have a dream? And sometimes at first he would say no, and then he went into the phase of making up a dream. I could tell he probably didn't, actually dream it. And then it went into him telling me what he dreamed about, or no, I didn't dream, and then him asking me. So another thing is, so my oldest is not homeschooled, so he goes to school. So now my baby, the youngest one, he has another routine that's communication back and forth. So it doesn't have to be with you, it could be with dad, siblings, or whatever. So now he has this whole little speech that he gives my oldest before he leaves the house or gets out the car. So he says, have a good day. Make sure you don't push anybody. Make sure you open the door for somebody. Make sure no one steals your joy. He came up with that on his own. So just communication. And then the third one would be what I always talk about is like I podcast, and my kids try to do what I do. So if you're doing something, just put a mic in front of them and just have conversation back and forth. The mic doesn't have to be on, like a karaoke mic or something. Kids love that. So that's pretend play. Let's pretend to be a talk show host. Let's pretend to be a podcast host. Or let's pretend to be a YouTuber. Or let's pretend to do the weather. So when you're doing the weather, you don't have to sit down and be like, oh, it's this, that, and the other. Give them a pretend microphone and say, hey, tell me what's the weather like today. Go outside and let them talk back and forth with you about the weather. So that's ways that you can have that back and forth exchange and understand that they're meaning their language and communication milestones. And then so the second one is ask who, where, or why. Where is mommy and daddy? Well, that's where I Spy comes into play. Where is the color orange? Or who has on a blue shirt? Or where is the purple hat? Or why is there something red in this room. Like that's different ways. Like just I spy, it's me, that milestone, and they get better and better the more you do it. Also, when you're reading your stories, like, I wonder why this is right here. And even with them young, I would say, I wonder why the illustrator put that right there. And sometimes they ask who is the illustrator, and that's when you explain to them this is the person that draws the artwork in the book or creates the visuals for the story. Where did the author come up with that? So you want to communicate with them, not as if they're like toddlers. You want to still communicate with them as if you're interacting with someone that can communicate back, not like at their level, so to speak. Just normally talk to them like, oh, don't like the what am I trying to say? So like the communication as far as thinking that it's above their level. So speak to them as you whatever naturally comes to your mind, and if you feel like they don't understand, they will tell you, or you'll see it in their facial expression and break it down to them. So yeah, so that was the asking. This goes into number 3, says what action is happening in the picture when you asked like running, eating, or playing. So just asking them what's happening in the picture and having them to use verbs. So running, eating, playing, those are verbs. So you want them to start. You don't necessarily have to say this is a verb. So when I ask you what a verb is, you tell me what running is. No, you're just introducing it to them because it's creating that background knowledge so that when they're in the first grade and they're actually learning about verbs, it's going to click so easy. So let's go running like the person in the book. Look, they were running. Oh, let's go play, or let's go eat. So that's a good one that I like to. I love to see books where they're eating different things. So let's go. We'll go to the grocery store. Let's go to the grocery store and we'll eat these things that they were eating in a book. So that's like one of my favorite things to do. If it's a book that has food in it, we're going to the grocery store. We're picking out those foods. We're coming back and we're cooking, eating them, however we need to prepare. So that's probably our snack, more than likely. So that's a fun way. So says first name when asked. So it's so important to teach your kids their names and like introducing letters. The best way to get them familiar with their name is when you introduce letters, introduce their name first, introduce the letters in their name. And that's the easiest way to get them to recognize it. And also singing, make their name out of a song. So my little one is Dion. So he would see his name and say his name. So we do our song Deion, 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 and Dion was his name. So a whole like song for his name. So if you can create a song with your little one's name, it's not easy for everyone. Then do that. Create a rap, a beat, some type of movement so that they can remember it. And always like so if someone says like dang, what does my dad say? So my dad will call Dion different things like Captain Underpants, because Dion doesn't like to have on pants. He likes to walk around in his underwear. Dion will say, no, my name is Dion. So like getting them used to saying their name. And make sure you say their name. So a lot of kids go to school and they have a first name, but they don't know their first name because they go by something at home. They go by their nicknames. And then when you get to school, which is why you see on a lot of paper, what's their preferred name? So I get they have a preferred name. Let them know what their real government name is, please. Because if they get lost or anything like that, and they say, my name is Mike, but their name is really Samuel, but they go by Mike at home, they're not gonna be able to find you. Like they're not gonna be able to identify this child. So just make sure that they understand what their real name is, regardless if you call them that not at home. That's the importance of it. Um, and then talks well enough for others to understand most of the time. So by 3, they should be talking to where someone can understand them. But that's for most kids. And also, I want to say with that, no, I'm not a doctor or anything, but studying this stuff, sign language is a form of communication. So if your little one is not verbal, but they're telling you this, which means more, or they're telling you this, which means cup, that's communicating so that someone else can understand them. So I really want to key in on that. No, they're not talking, but they're communicating well enough for someone to understand them. You still seek help because they're not verbally talking, but I want you to understand that there's still a form of communication for your non-verbal little ones. Teach them sign language. Learn sign language. It's the simple baby sign language. They're easy to learn. I taught all my kids sign language because one, daddy didn't understand toddler language. So I taught all my kids sign language. And then my oldest, he was actually going to daycare and stuff. So I wanted to make sure he could communicate. So it's not that talk well enough for someone to understand. Sometimes they just don't want to talk. Sometimes they don't feel comfortable with talking. So I taught my baby different ways to communicate. If you're not comfortable with talking and using your words and vocalizing how you feel, we sign language all day. Okay? So that was that. And then so the next one is the cognitive milestone. So cognitive is the brain, like the learning, the thinking, and the problem solving. I'm gonna take some tea. And I love this cup. I think I got it from Target. Yep, I got it from Target. It says embrace the mess. Like this cup spoke to my soul because you gotta embrace the mess around here at the Activity Playhouse. All right, so cognitive milestones. So draw a circle when you show him how. Yeah. They interchange him and her in this, but whatever. So when you show them how. So drawing a circle. Does that mean pick up a pencil and make your baby draw a circle? No. You can have them draw. Y'all know I speak all the time. We can draw a circle in the sand. Like Dion loves sand. So if we need to draw a circle in the sand, let them draw their shapes in the sand. You can use salt. Get some salt, put it in a Ziploc bag, use some food coloring, shake it up, put it in a little tray for them. Let them practice in salt. So you got salt, you got sand. You can go out and buy some kinetic sand. You can get the big old bag of play sand from Home Depot for like $6, like 50-pound bag. What else? They can draw their name in the dirt. They can draw their name in mud. You can use cocoa powder. There's so many other ways for your little one to draw a circle without putting a pencil in their hand. I can't stress that enough. Like, their bones aren't developed as of yet for them to have a pencil in their hand constantly. They can draw their shapes, letters, numbers without a pencil. All right. Avoid touching hot objects like the stove when you warn them. So that's like the safety and the conscious thing. So problem solving. So my thing is, it's hot. Look at the steam on it. Look at the fire, and just identifying those things. So sometimes, for example, my tea, it's hot. So if I know it's hot, and Dion, because let's just be honest, sometimes our toddlers' ears just, it seems like it doesn't work. We know they work because they pass the hearing test with 5 colors, but it's at the house they somehow don't work. So blowing it, oh, is that hot? It is. Or, ooh, that's hot. Like you showing them, telling them and showing them is 2 different things. So like with the fire, like, oh my God, like you don't touch the fire, but you kind of, oh, that's really hot, because you're showing them that it's hot versus like, oh, that's hot. They're still going to want to touch it. So you have to be like, that's you warning them, that you're showing them how to warn them. I'm not saying put your hand in fire, but if it's fire, oh, that's hot. We probably need to step back away from that. Or if it's like my tea, instead of like dipping your hand or hurry up and grabbing it, oh, I see the steam from that. That's really hot. Showing them the indicators of what hot is so that they understand, because it's always like, I told them not to touch the stove, but they touched it anyway, and then they burn themselves. Well, you told them, but you didn't show them. And showing them is the best way to warn them. And even when you're doing your pretend play, like the kitchen, like, oh, look, mommy or daddy, I made you some food. Well, is it hot? Ooh, pretend that it's hot to show them. That's how you do a play. Like, I know almost every kid makes food, makes a fake food. Pretend that it's hot to teach them. So that was the cognitive milestones. Those are the only two they have, which I personally think is a problem. There's so many more things that we need to work on as far as the 3-year-olds and their problem solving and thinking. That's just like, so another way I'll add to this CDC. Who am I to add to this, right? Whatever. I'm the mom playologist. So, for the cognitive and problem solving, I would add exercises to get them to develop their critical thinking skills. So putting out loose parts, or like what I like to call an invitation to play. So it's where you just set out different things, like random things. Set it out on the table in their little creative space or play space, and see what they do with it. Let their minds explore and wonder. So Home Depot workshop is kind of good with this, because they give you these kits to make the first Saturday of each month, but it also has instructions, and a lot of parents do it for the kids. I put out the materials and let my kids figure it out, and sometimes they get frustrated, but that's part of them figuring out and problem solving, because I can't tell you. I can assist you, but I'm not going to tell you. And I know that sounds mean, because we want to help our little ones. We don't want to see them struggle, but that's part of them solving the problem, because when they get older, some parents will say they can't think on it. I have to tell them every little thing. Well, you told them every little thing when they were 3. So teaching them to problem solve. So if you see them trying to struggle to not necessarily put on their shoe, going back to loose parts example. So just putting like paper towel rolls, pipe cleaners, screws, little washers, big things, and you're right there so that, they don't put the things in their mouth. But setting up a whole little thing, pom-poms, just seeing what they would do with it. They see it, toddlers' brains and 3-year-old brains work different. They see something, they're curious, they want to figure out how it works. And we're the ones that stop them and say, oh no, don't do that. This is what this is for. Let them figure it out. Who cares if you're supposed to put the screw into this hole? They want to make their own hole. Let them figure out, like, oh, okay, that's why I'm supposed to use this little space right here. Like, they're so curious. Let them figure out. That's problem solving. That's their brain working. Another cognitive milestone that it kind of goes into movement, but it still works with the brain. So crossing the midline. Talk about this often, but crossing the midline, having them use both sides of their brain. And that's part of the developing the critical thinking skills and stuff like that. So what does that look like? So you can do the scissors exercise. That goes into movement. Let's go to movement. So movement and physical development. So strings items together like large beads or macaroni. So movement, physical development, that's actually like the the fine motor milestones, because they're stringing it together and they're pinching to put things on the pipe cleaner and stuff like that, or pipe cleaner, string, what have you. Macaroni noodles, you can color those. Those are cute, or you can just use the big beads. Not anything small that in case they still put things in their mouth. So that's a fine motor one. Put some clothes on by themselves, like loose pants or a jacket. So I love to have. Well, he pretty much gets stressed. So promoting that though. So let them pick out their clothes. let them pick out their clothes. I don't care if you're tired of seeing that princess dress or that Spider-Man costume. Let them pick out their clothes, have a sense of independence for themselves, and I promise they'll eventually start matching. They will start matching. Let them pick out their clothes. Let them have their independence. It's their body. Let them dress themselves. If you feel embarrassed, you're okay. Let them feel their independence and be proud of whatever creative outfit they put on, because it's gonna be creative. After the kids, it's gonna be creative. The funniest thing, my oldest, he would wear his shades upside down. My daughter, princess all day long. Still, she's 7. It started at 1. Like at first I was like, oh girl, I don't know how to do hair. I'm not a girly girl. And then she came and I was like, oh, I get to dress her in cute bows and stuff and put this. She's been dressing herself since she was 1. No lie. She's my fashionista. She picks her outfits out. She dresses herself. I'll go with it. I just make sure the right size is in her closet and let her have at it. Princess and dresses, tutus, skirts, 24/7. She will sleep in a princess dress. So I make sure she has certain dresses without the glitter on it for her to sleep in. Let these kids express themselves. And that motivates them to want to put on. Because when you got that new thing or you got your mindset on something you want to wear, you're anxious to put it on. Same thing with them. Like, they're excited to put on something that they picked out. And I'll go a step further with Dion. They have these little closet organizer things. So they have it where you can you kind of hang the top rod on your in your closet, and it drops down and it creates a bottom rod for them. So Dion hangs his own clothes up, and he's able to sort through his closet and pick out his stuff, and it's at his level. So I don't have a problem with him getting dressed. I have a problem getting him out the house because he don't want to leave the house. But I don't have a problem with him picking out his clothes. I sometimes have a problem with him putting on pants because he doesn't like pants. But yeah, like, giving them that independence helps them, motivates them to want to put on their clothes. And then sometimes us having patience, like, you got to be patient. If you know you need to be somewhere, don't rush them. Give them 30 minutes. I was going to say give them 30 minutes to put on those pants, but not necessarily 30 minutes. Give yourself time to let them have time to put on those pants. So that's what I was going to say. And then, so the last one is uses a fork. So just put the utensils in front of them. They'll start to use it. They may not continue to put it in front of them and mimic it. You use it and stuff like that. And that's how you motivate them. So that's what I have for you all. I'm going to get out of here. Someone's up. And I will talk to you all in the next episode on Let Kids Play podcast.
Mommy.
Hey, baby. Just getting set up here with my new set. Bringing it to y'all from the couch. Oh, kids asleep. Husband just went to work. This is when I record. Alright, so get my phone here. Whew, so I could alright, let me type my notes out. So I usually use note cards, but I'm gonna try something new. We're using my phone. I need to grab my tea too. I'm feeling a little under the weather this episode, but we gonna get it done. And honestly, it's 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, February 2nd. I have to release the episode by 10 a.m. today. So this is what I do. As a mom, I can see this living room though. If y'all can see this living room. So I'm gonna shoot this episode real quick before the kids get up, and then after I shoot this episode, I'm gonna clean up, and then I'm gonna come back to it to download it from StreamYard, put it into what is it, CapCut, because I gotta cut out this special 4 episode, and then so I put in CapCut just to cut out this part. Then I gotta download it, put in YouTube, put in red circle, and then it'll be out to y'all by 10, because you know. So sometimes as moms we get it done in the crunch, and that's what I'm doing today. So what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about tailor play to your little one's developmental stage. We're talking toddlers today. Alright, so what they need to know by 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 categories. 4 categories. According to the CDC. Social and emotional. Let me blow my nose. I'm not gonna write all this down word for word. I'm just pretty much doing my intro. I'm just pretty much doing my intro. Alright. Alright. About to get started. I'm gonna pause this because I need to get my tea. And I need to blow my nose. And then I'll come back and be ready for the episode. Hype myself up. Let me see. What music can I play to hype myself up while I go get my tea and stuff? Ooh. Got it. Let me see. I don't know the name of songs. I don't know the name of songs. But we're gonna play it. Oh, look at God. I'm on YouTube, so you get an ad. Alright, I'm gonna play this while I go get my tea and stuff. When they say do it ugly, this is their main kids, baby. That's it. That's it. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna call this episode. Actually, it's gonna be a whole series. Live from the couch or tied from the couch. I don't know. I'm gonna be so creative. Alright. I don't know about this. But then begin to see here come my blessings. Do that, then I'm get started. Ooh, what about on the couch with the mom playologist? See, here come my blessings. Alright, let me get. I hope y'all enjoy these behind the scenes. Ew, I show you. Let me put the phone on Stanley. Let's check my ooh, that ponytail looking crazy. But we going with it. Got my lint. Got my lint. Alright. Whew. Alright. Oh, I need my phone to show the episode number. Episode. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you sleep?
Good.
Good. You up early.
What did you say?
You're up early. You heard mommy talking?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I wake you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's go potty. We can sit on the couch.
I didn't.
Cuddle up and you can tell me about your dream.
Oh, Mommy.
Huh?